Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Shiva Ayyadurai. We'll wait for people to join. It is 8:30. I thought I'd do this a little bit later because some people asked me that they wanted to watch the video, but they wanted to wait until they got home. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about, as the title shows here, will Elon Musk end the government and Twitter partnership to suppress free speech? And it's going to be as many of you know, that whenever I do these videos, whatever topic I'm talking about, be it politics or be it science or be it education, one of my goals is to impress on everyone that if we want to get to the heart of any issue, we need to start seeing interconnections between things. And this is called a systems approach. So even as I discuss this topic, what I want to do is focus on that. I'll be emphasizing that we need to take a systems approach to understand what's going on. Recently, over the last, I think, 6 weeks, there's been news that Elon Musk, a very wealthy person, who has said that he's concerned about free speech and what's going on in the United States specifically, is going to be taking over Twitter, and he wants to make it a free speech or more of a free speech platform, given that the people that have been canceled have been thrown off, et cetera. So that's what's out in the news. In opposition to that, you've heard that Biden has started a group for misinformation and disinformation. Now, many of you know this area has been personally near and dear to us and what we've been doing here in our movement, and was particularly important because in my own campaign, when I ran for office in Massachusetts, we uncovered certain things which we shared on Twitter, and we were subsequently banned. And that led us into a historic lawsuit where we uncovered it wasn't Twitter that threw me off. It was the government which made Twitter throw me off. And that led to a very big lawsuit. People can go read about it. It's all public. By the way, everything I'm sharing with you is public information. Nothing is secret. It's stuff that's come out of the fact that we used a systems approach to interconnect a number of important facets. And I hope those of you listening and Elon Musk has a chance to watch this video, because he has an opportunity to use the information that we discovered to recognize this is not about big tech doing stuff to the individual. This is actually about the fact that a partnership exists, which we uncovered through public documents between government and, in this case, we're going to focus on Twitter, right? So that's why the title of this talk today says, will Elon Musk end the government and Twitter partnership to suppress free speech? And my theory is that obviously people within Twitter know, but it's unclear whether Elon Musk knows. So part of our goal is to share this information with you, so you get a much more dualistic perspective. And we don't get lost in the theater. This guy's for free speech and Biden is against it. And we don't uncover the realities of what's going on. So let's just jump into this. So what I want to do is first, I'm going to give away the whole talk. This is what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the fact that Twitter entered into a partnership with government to silence speech of citizens, public officials, and those running for office. And this was early as 2018. So if you're getting sort of lost in thinking that Biden is doing this suddenly, it's not true. This has existed for 4 years. The government created this partnership. It was called the Partner Support Portal. That's where it was brought out. And again, it's public information, which we discovered in our lawsuit. The other bullet point here is all board members of Twitter, including Jack Dorsey, who today claims that, this is all bad what he did, but it's unfortunate that he didn't do anything before, because he was part of this and he helped to architect this partnership between government and Twitter. And Twitter was a hired gun of government to do things that the government is blocked by doing, suppressing people's speech, e.g. the U.S. Constitution. And so this is fundamentally anti-American and it's anti-democracy. And so Elon Musk has an opportunity to end this, and he has to end this partnership, which I'm going to share with you, as a first step for ensuring free speech. And that's really the summary of today's talk. And again, all of this is publicly accessible information. As I go into this, I'm going to take a couple of breaks, and now I've shared with you the summary. I want to really give you, because the reason I'm doing this again is I want all of you to take a systems approach to understanding this, because without it, it was really the systems approach which helped me uncover all of this. And my aim is not just to talk about Elon Musk and Twitter, but to really inspire you to take a systems approach. I'm going to play a little video, and we'll come back to this called My Journey to Systems. So let me play this for you. Welcome to VA Shiva. VA Shiva is a product of my journey across East and West, science and tradition, ancient and modern, that brings you the science of systems so you can become a force for truth, freedom, health. VA Shiva is a platform of revolutionary education, community building, and weaponry for unleashing local activism. My journey to VA Shiva begins in the chaos of Bombay, where I experienced diverse religions, languages, castes, and in a small village that had no running water, no electricity, where my grandmother, a poor village farmer, practiced Siddha, an ancient system of Indian medicine over 10,000 years old. She observed one's face, the art of Samudrika Lakshanam, to understand a body's unique constitution, allowing her to deliver the right medicine for the right person at the right time. Watching my grandmother heal others, I was inspired to study medicine, but I was also aware of the corrupt caste system of India, which denigrated a human being, where my family were considered low-caste untouchables, where one's birth determined one's destiny. The grit and determination of my mother and father led them to get educated and to come to America, a 1 in a trillion event. Their actions inspired me to work hard and excel. While in 9th grade, I attended New York University in a computer science program, and subsequently, at the age of 14, was given a full-time job as a research fellow at what is now known as Rutgers Medical School in the heart of Newark, New Jersey. There I investigated the system of sleep using mathematics, computer science, and biology for sudden infant death syndrome. It was there in Newark where I invented email, when I was the first to convert every feature of the physical, paper-based inter-office mail system, including inbox, outbox, memo, carbon copy, blind carbon copy, attachments, into its electronic equivalent, a system which I named email, a term that I was the first to coin. On August 30th, 1982, I was awarded the first U.S. copyright for the invention of this system, recognizing me as the inventor of email. At that time, copyright was the only way to protect software inventions. I went on to MIT, where I earned 4 degrees across multiple systems of engineering: electrical, mechanical, design, biological. That training led me to invent many other systems for advancing humankind. EchoMail, the world's first intelligent email management system. Cytosolve, a computational biology system for eliminating animal testing to discover new medicines faster, cheaper, and safer. And to the creation of a whole systems methodology for certifying clean food. These innovations led me back on a Fulbright to India, where I discovered the missing link between Eastern medicine and Western systems theory, honoring my grandmother, to develop Your Body, Your System, a powerful tool that will help you understand how your body is a system and how the inputs of food, supplements, and exercise bring your body back to its natural system state. And Systems Health, an integrative educational discipline that is now integrated into the VA Shiva platform that will enable you to learn the science of systems, the science of everything, be it your body as a system or our society and politics as a system, to reveal the foundational interrelationships between truth, freedom, health. Now is the time for you to be the light, learn the science of systems, build community, and weaponize yourself to unleash the activism necessary to deliver truth, freedom, health in your local community. Welcome to VA Shiva. Anyway, so I wanted to share that journey because it's really important in the world that we live in for people to take a systems approach. And we've built this entire curriculum. We've made it very accessible. If you're an adult, you get a $2,500 scholarship to take. You go to vashiva.com/join, and you can take the Foundations of Systems course. It really will teach you how to think and see these interconnections. So now I share in this talk about what we discovered between the unholy alliance between government and Twitter. It came from this systems approach. And so if you're an adult, go take the course. It's $100. You get a $2,500 scholarship, but you can also give it to any young child, 18 or below, for absolutely free. So all of you can also be like billionaires and be philanthropists. So take the course and you can give it to as many children as you want for absolutely free. So this is really our commitment to create the future by helping our next generation. You also have access to the book System and Revolution, which will teach you the principles of systems. We've also made the book absolutely free. You just have to pay for cover shipping and handling. Okay, so let me talk about what's going on here. So when you look at your relationship on social media, there's you, and if you're on Twitter, the interaction that you believe takes place, the interconnection from a systems approach, is you believe that Twitter, if they decide to block you or throw you off or suspend you, that Twitter is the one that's doing this, right? So this is how you would see your relationship from a system standpoint with Twitter. There's you, Twitter doesn't like you, it's Twitter knocking you off. Well, is that really true? And we're led to believe by the recent press reports that Elon Musk taking over Twitter, he's going to ensure that Twitter just doesn't throw you off because you say something that they don't want to hear, okay? But what we uncovered, and this is really important, and again, this is through our lawsuit. When I was permanently suspended from Twitter, initially we were thrown off. We exposed to the judge that it was a government of Massachusetts who had contacted Twitter. This is quite profound. Twitter was made to throw me off by the government, and we won our TRO case. And then when they permanently suspended me, went into a much longer lawsuit where we uncovered the details that I'm going to share with you today. Okay. So, but the bottom line is this is what we think is going on, right? Twitter is the one in charge. And when they decide to take you out, it's Twitter is doing that. Okay. Someone said, what was your Twitter account? My Twitter account was VA_Shiva. Okay. And you can see I've been suspended. I had close to 500,000 followers at the time. Okay. So, but the reality is what's really going on, what we uncovered, it's government has a partnership with Twitter. And this was created in 2018. Government has a partnership with Twitter that if they see a citizen doing stuff they do not like, they have a special VIP partnership that they can tell Twitter to knock that person off. This is quite interesting. That means Twitter is being used to launder censorship. And so the government can say, oh, we didn't do it, Twitter did it. But on the back end, they have a partnership, okay? So this is really, really important for everyone to understand. And I hope all of you share this and get this out there. Obviously, I'm not on Twitter anymore, but this is what really occurred. And Jack Dorsey was part of setting up this partnership. His legal team was part of setting up this. So now they have remorse, but they were the ones that did it. So where's the evidence? Well, let's go to the evidence from a science standpoint. So there were a series of playbooks, manuals that we discovered in our lawsuit. The election interference operations playbook, the election part 1, part 2, and then there's a state and local election playbook. These playbooks, to be clear, were developed by Twitter and government, state and local governments, to watch out for misinformation and disinformation. Very, very important to understand. So suddenly we're being told in 2022, Biden is doing something. Well, we need to convey to Elon Musk or to the media, it's not Musk versus Biden. It's the fact that Twitter had created these partnerships back in 2018, okay? And these partnerships are exhibited in these playbooks, which literally detail how government and Twitter will work together to suppress you, the individual, okay? So let's go through one of these playbooks. So by the way, if you go to winbackfreedom.com, in the interest of time, you can go through in gross detail and you can look on all the information that we found in our historic lawsuit, okay? So here is one of the playbooks. And if you look at the playbooks, the first chapter of the playbook, it literally has the authors and contributors in this playbook, okay? And what you'll see right here is, guess who are the authors? Well, here are governments, election officials, government officials. And guess who else is included right here? Okay, you'll see right here is included Twitter Legal. Twitter Legal collaborated with government to create these playbooks on how they will collaborate with government to suppress the speech of U.S. citizens. And in fact, if you read this, it's got influence operations, disinformation, and misinformation. They discuss what is influence operations. So in this case, you as a citizen could be branded as an influence operator if you're putting out information that the government doesn't like, okay? And you're having influence. For example, if I put out information saying, hey, the government deletes ballot images, and this is a violation of law, which is what I did. And for that, the government, as we showed in testimony, had contacted Twitter to throw me off, okay? And this is what is very important that Elon Musk understands, that there is Twitter, and yes, you can go try to reform Twitter, but Twitter created these playbooks and has a partnership with government. Very, very important, okay? So they put together these documents and how they could suppress speech. And in fact, in this document, it clearly says that if you as an individual even say that people who run elections are corrupt, that will be considered disinformation and you will be put on a watch list and watched. Let me repeat that again. So Twitter and the government work together at Harvard to create a playbook to define a partnership and how they will determine at the behest of government if someone is spreading misinformation or disinformation. And you can see right here, out of their manual, it says, if you say people who run elections are corrupt, you'll be tagged as someone who's doing misinformation and disinformation by the government. Okay? So think about what I'm saying. Twitter is not doing this on their own. They have a relationship with government, and if you speak your mind and you say something against government officials, you'll be put on a watch list. And I'm going to show you what happens. They have the second part of the manual, which goes to what they actually will do to you in this process. But this was organized. So one of the most profound things of the First Amendment was that, unlike in Britain, you could say whatever you wanted against the government and you would be protected by the First Amendment. But this says, if you say these kinds of things, you will be watched by the government. In fact, if you say stuff about anything about COVID-19 concerns, okay, et cetera. All right. So this is in black and white. Then what we want to talk about here is there's a second manual called the Election Influence Operations Playbook, which was also created by Twitter and the government, okay? And what you'll see here is this is a detailed step-by-step manual, step 1, step 2, step 3, or stage 1, stage 4, which defines how the government will work with big tech companies to watch out for people, what they're saying, identify them, respond and resolve, and learn and improve, which means watch them. So this is how they assess the severity of an individual, okay? So for example, if you have an established voice, if you have credibility and you have volume, that will put you on a watch list if you're saying stuff that is not in compliance with what the government has determined is violation of speech, okay? Their speech, if you're exposing them. But they literally have a methodology. So in my case, I had an established voice, I had credibility, a bunch of degrees from MIT, and I had close to 500,000 followers, okay? So very important, okay? So this is in their manual. And then in the manual, they have a way that you'll identify someone as a high severity threat, medium severity threat, and low. Again, to those of you joining, this is a manual that was a partnership that was built between Twitter and social media companies and government to identify people who are saying stuff that goes against government, the most extreme violation of the First Amendment, right? So again, we're doing this talk today to alert Elon Musk because he appears that he wants to really deliver free speech, but he needs to understand fundamentally that government and Twitter are united, and that government set up a partnership with Twitter to watch people and then let Twitter throw them off so they could say, oh, we had nothing to do with it. It's called laundering censorship. And what I'm sharing with you is those documents that we discovered in our lawsuit, which, by the way, none of the mainstream media covered. Tucker Carlson didn't cover it because he, as I've shared before, is an opportunist. Okay? All right. And then we also showed here, you can see right here in the manual is a Twitter partnership portal. Okay? So if government has a problem with you saying something, they've been given a VIP portal called a partner support portal, again, which was created by Twitter and the government. And through that portal, they can directly tell government, and the government can tell Twitter, take this guy out. Okay? And that is what the manual reveals. Now, again, I'm not sure if Elon Musk knows about this, but we're letting him be aware of this. This was suppressed by the mainstream news media. Our lawsuit had such immense impact that, in fact, it got scary for some of the judges and lawyers also. Okay, but go to winbackfreedom.com and you can read about all of it. Again, all of this is public information. Okay. So there you go. So I've shared with you the literal partnership that was set up between Twitter and government. So government could launder censorship of Twitter to actually attack you. Right now, Elon Musk thinks there's just Twitter and you, but there's actually government which is operating this, and all of this data exists to show that. So if you want to know more, go to winbackfreedom.com if you want to read more about the lawsuit. So furthermore, in June of last year, interestingly enough, Stanford University. So what I just shared with you were playbooks that were developed at Harvard between the partnership between government and Twitter. Okay. So again, from a systems approach, what you're learning here, it was government and Twitter which created a partnership to watch surveillance American citizens. And by the way, this is used by all over the world, by all governments. And if you say stuff that expose government officials, the government can tell Twitter to knock you out, and they can say we had nothing to do with it. Now, this was, so when I was thrown off, a report came out by Stanford University gloating about the Playbook and documenting this, and that came out in the Long Fuse report, okay? And in this Long Fuse report, it actually identified people called repeat spreaders, people who had massive influence and were affecting and influencing others. And guess what? I was documented here as being one of the key repeat spreaders on the same level of influence as Donald Trump. Remember, Donald Trump was president of the United States, and I was a U.S. Senate candidate at the time that I was thrown off. So think about that. So you have 6 incidents they talk about supposedly. Donald Trump did total of this many tweets. I did a lot more tweets, but we had views. So, but I was considered in the same level of influence in this report in terms of, because I would do tweets and I would do these long form videos. Okay. So go back to winbackfreedom.com and you can see this. So those of you who are joining us, what we've just talked about is that we want to alert Elon Musk, because he's going to be potentially running Twitter, that Twitter entered into a partnership with government to silence speech of citizens, public officials, and those running for office as early as 2018. So it is sort of a mistake to think suddenly Biden has started this disinformation, misinformation thing, and it's Musk versus Biden. Remember, when you take a systems approach, you go down to the real problem, the real issue. This is not Biden. This was done by Dorsey and others back in 2018 when Trump was in power. Okay? So we got to remember this. Okay? The government, Homeland Security, CISA, set up this partnership with Twitter long before Biden was involved. Okay? So don't get bamboozled to thinking it's Biden versus Musk. Okay? All right. The other thing is all board members of Twitter, including Jack Dorsey, were part of this. So don't feel sympathy for Jack Dorsey because he was part of this, unless he's willing to give back all his money to all of us who were affected by being thrown off Twitter. And Twitter, bottom line, was a hired gun of the government to do things that the government is blocked by doing, which is, suppressing speech. And This is anti-American, anti-democracy, and Elon Musk has to end this as a first step for ensuring speech. Okay? Let me quickly play a video that I've played before, and I'll come back and make some very important talks. I haven't played this video in a while, but it's really our Anthem video that we played, and it'll really sort of impress on you how important this is. So let me play this for you.
We have allowed our country to be taken over from within, and the end goal is you will have a homogenized world where we will become slaves, because there is a condition among the elites that really thinks they're better than you, deep down inside them, that you don't deserve the freedoms you have. They don't. This reality is what people need to wake up to, and we need to all unite working people. There's only one movement that can do that. And that is the movement that we started creating here in Massachusetts, the movement for truth, freedom, and health. Look, I've been a student of politics since I was a 4-year-old kid, studying revolutionary movements, left wing, right wing. There's a physics, there's a nuclear science to destroying the establishment. To build a bridge, you need to understand Newton's equation. You need to understand the laws of gravity. You need to understand Poisson's ratio. There is a way to build a revolution, and that's why I put this together. My goal is to train an army of truth, freedom, and health leaders. We don't need followers like social media. We need leaders, but they need training, because the educational system does not teach them history, nothing. So in 3 hours, that's what I've started doing. That's the solution. We got to train people. First, with understanding what a system is. The second is understanding the interconnection between truth, freedom, and health. Freedom is the ability to move freely, communicate freely, right? Talk freely. Without freedom, you cannot convert ideas, hypothesis into truth, which is science. And without freedom, you can't really get to truth. And without truth, you make up fake problems and fake solutions, which means you destroy our health. And without health, which is the infrastructure of us and our body, you can't fight for freedom. Third concept is it has to be bottoms up. Working people, people who work uniting. And what the right wing has done is whenever you say working people unite, that must be communist. Meanwhile, they've let the Democrats run unions, which suppress workers. Completely corrupt. But when you look at the arc of American history, it's been when working people came up. We need to go local. Every solution I'm coming up with as a part of this movement, we're giving the science, which is the truth, and then we tell people what they can do on the ground. Like with election fraud, you don't need to wait for some lawyer. Our goal is to train people, Dave, to go local, to go local, to go local, fight locally. Forget lawyers, forget politicians, forget celebrities. You've got to learn politics, and there is a science to it. They lock us down, we should be ready to shut them down. And the fourth part of this principle is a not so obvious establishment. So when you look at a system, there's always something that disturbs you from getting to your goal. Well, the biggest disturbance is a not so obvious establishment, which are those people who claim they're for you, on the left and the right. The Al Sharptons who tell black people I'm for you. The Tucker Carlsons. Do you think any true anti-establishment person will ever be on Fox or CNN? I don't think so. They both mislead working people back into the establishment. Without this solid understanding of political physics and theory, you're screwed. You're going to follow on the left wing, Bernie Sanders. Oh, he said something. Or Robert Kennedy. Scumbags. Or you're going to follow, some right-wing talk show host. They're not going to lead us to liberation. It's us. And that political physics, it's a nuclear science of change. Bottoms up. We have to organize to understand that there is people who talk a good game and then look at what they actually do, left and right. I'm sorry, Sean Hannity may say some good things, but I don't see the urgency in his voice to get something done, and it can only come when you weaponize yourself with the right knowledge. You need to be able to identify a rat. Christ didn't go after the Romans, right? It was the Pharisees and the Sadducees who screwed him up. His own quote-unquote people. And that's where we're at. So these four concepts I've built into a curriculum. People can go to vashiva.com. And it's an educational program. We need to train people in political theory. You need to have physics. And I've created that curriculum. People need to get educated. We need to get educated fast. And within a half an hour, I can teach people. 2 years of MIT control systems, I teach people those concepts. Then I apply it, anyone can understand it. And then you say, oh, I got to build a bottoms-up movement. They have to get politically astute, and then they have to go locally and act, not sit there on social media. They have to act locally, defy locally, do civil obedience locally, but with knowledge on how to build a movement. The Senate campaign's expanded to the Movement for Truth, Freedom, and Health, and they can find it on V as in Victor, A, Shiva. vashiva.com, so people can sign in, they can get access to a bunch of videos. If they want to take a course and become a Truth, Freedom, Health leader, I offer a full scholarship there, but we want people to make a commitment that they'll study, that they'll get certified, that they'll go do activities on the ground. So go to VA Victory America Shiva, vashiva.com.
So I encourage all of you to go to vashiva.com/join. We need to build a educational movement. As my great-grandfather said, that education is ultimately the way that we get our freedom, or we get our liberation, we create wealth for ourselves and health and all that. And the knowledge of our time that needs to be understood is understanding a systems approach where you see these interconnections. What I've just shared with you is, if you just simply look at Twitter and you're going to think, oh, Twitter is the one that's throwing people up. It's big tech, big tech, big tech. But when you actually start looking at the data and the evidence, you find out that government and big tech are in a cozy relationship. So anyone purporting to really want to fight for free speech has to go at the heart of that connection from a systems approach and say, hey, government and Twitter have a partnership. I'm going to be running Twitter, so if I want free speech, I better end that partnership. That's the essence of today's talk. But more importantly, not only on this topic, I want all of you to take your time and go to vashiva.com/join. If you're an adult, if you're 18 plus, this is a course I've offered all over the world. It really teaches you how to think, to go beyond the left or the right, or this person is pro and this one's anti, and to go uncover the interconnections. It's a self-paced course. You can learn it. I used to charge a lot of money for it when I used to sell it through big institutions, $2,600. We've made it accessible to every adult, a $2,500 scholarship. So please take advantage of it. I wanted, if we gave it away for free, no one was signing up. You got to charge something. So we gave you what I actually used to charge and a scholarship. And if you take this course and you pass it, you can become a philanthropist and give it to any child in the world at no cost. My view is that when young people, and that's under the age of 18, by the time they get to college, the curriculums are basically not teaching them how to think, but what to think. But if we can help children really understand systems thinking, even before reading, writing, and arithmetic, it can have a profound effect on them to make them serious change agents. So, and in addition, I want to recommend, so go to vashiva.com/join. If you're not ready to do that, get the book. Go to vashiva.com/join. Again, it really should be /join. And you can get the book there absolutely free. You just have to cover shipping and handling. So please take advantage of this. But going back to Elon Musk, what I want to say is, by the way, those of you joining new, the talk is, will Elon Musk end the government and Twitter partnership to suppress free speech? And we reviewed what we uncovered. And to those of you who may want to tweet out to Elon, you can tell Elon, he can call me anytime, 617-631-6874, and we'll give him all the evidence. I'll sit down and go over it with him. But it's really an opportunity for Elon Musk, as he has said, he wants free speech. He has to, as a first step, he has to end this, meaning he has to end this, which is a partnership between government and Twitter to ensure free speech. Okay? So that's really the takeaway today. If Elon Musk is serious, as he has said, we hope he ends this very fundamental partnership between government and Twitter. By the way, any one of you can go to winbackfreedom.com and look all of this up. All the data's there. Review this video. But that's what we got to do, right? So we're going to give Elon Musk a chance to do the right thing, and I hope he does. But he's got to begin by ending this partnership. Jack Dorsey created that partnership. Today, he's lamenting about what he did. He's saying, oh, I did a wrong thing. But he made a lot of money. So if he's serious about that, perhaps he should give back his money to all those people who lost income from being thrown off Twitter, etc. But we need to see some action right now. So let's see if there's any questions here. I'm going to just look over here. Someone says Musk is PR for the New World Order. Tesla equals government. Someone says, Dr. Shiva, we need help in Canada. Let's see what else we got. Heather says, join the movement, to Elizabeth. The movement is get educated, go to vashiva.com/join, get educated. Heather also says, view the partnership. Dr. Shiva speaks at winbackfreedom.com. All the data is there. It's pure evidence. There's no hearsay here. You can see it for yourself. All of it's from public documents that anyone can go see. Let's see. Someone says, yeah, this is a great comment. Jason Levesque says, I've said for a long time that the greatest enemy is right here at home. And he or she looks just like us, not some people in some distant land. Okay. All right, everyone. So I hope this was valuable. So the bottom line is that there's a potential opportunity here, but ultimately it is for each one of you to get educated, learn this, understand interconnections, build a community. So go to vashiva.com/join. We have hundreds of thousands of people all over the world. We also have access to an orientation program. You can join we just did one just today. So I hope you're all well, and let's create a better world, but let's understand the science of systems. That's the way to do it for yourself and our children. Go to vashiva.com/join. Be well.